new partnership has been forged to tell the story of how African Americans helped shape the bourbon industry.
And Gathan Borden from the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild is here to tell us more about the project. We're so glad to have you, and we want to hear so much about this project.
Thank you for having us. Yes, so you know, if I go back just a little bit about the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild, we've been around since 2018, and you know, our whole purpose of the organization is just to honor the contribution of African Americans and other minority groups in the bourbon industry, but we also want to prepare it for the future so we can find more minority groups, more women who want to be a part of the bourbon industry so they can work in distilleries, work in the industry, and be more respective, and then also like kind of get more students involved in the process as well. So that is our whole goal. That's kind of where we started at. And so Castle & Key has been a really good partner of ours as we've been trying to uncover the archives and the history of African Americans and their contribution to the bourbon industry. And so this bottle that we have here is one that we're really excited about for an event we have coming up on November the 13th. The bottle is basically the untold story. And so each chapter, this bottle right here represents chapter 1. And so that bottle is going to be the first chapter of talking about the African American history. And so on the bottle, there's a good story on both sides of the label. So we've got the history was written by one of our members, Erin Gilliam, who is a historian, used to work at Kentucky State University. So she wrote the history, and we're just really excited about it. You know, we're in its infancy, when we started it, we're a bourbon and whiskey affinity group. Mm-hmm. But I think the one thing that separates us is that, you know, we focus so much on education. And so our goal is to make sure that our membership and other groups understand the process of bourbon, how it's made, where it came from, the history of it. But, you know, we want to focus on doing something different. And so most groups, you know, the pinnacle for a lot of these groups is like you want to do a barrel pick. You go to a distillery, you pick a barrel, and you give that to your membership. Mm-hmm. That's the ultimate. We've taken it one step further, which is what we're really excited about. So everything that's in this bottle was selected and blended by us at the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild. Castle & Key was our partner in creating all that. So everything that's in there, we had a hand in putting all that together.
It is a spectacular bottle. I mean, it truly is beautiful, and the story behind it really makes it special. So this is chapter 1. How many chapters are we talking about here?
Well, the chapters could go on for days, right? I think we've been talking to, you know, tons of historians, and a lot of the history of African Americans and other minority groups is basically erased, right? So a lot of these distilleries are digging into the archives. So some of them have allowed us to come in and dig into the history. So I don't know how many bottles it'll be. You know,
the book is still being written.
The book is still being written. You know, this is chapter 1. It's an untold story, and so we don't know when that story will ever end.
I love it. So let's talk more about the brunch. You mentioned the upcoming event you guys have coming up.
Yes. So it'll be Saturday, November 13th. It'll be at Base 249 here in Lexington, and so tickets are $85. And so you can find those tickets on our website at KentuckyBlackBourbonGuild.com. And it does two things. The ticket price actually helps us with our scholarship fund. Again, we're talking about trying to find the next generation of distillery workers and distillers and master distillers, being students and college students. So we have a college fund to help us do that. And then the bottle itself, if you come to the event, the ticket allows you to get brunch. And then it also allows you to purchase up to 6 bottles for your family. And with the bottle purchase, that bottle purchase then goes to Castle & Key's Minority Scholarship Fund. So now we're talking about funding 2 different scholarship initiatives, both for DEI efforts from Castle & Key's perspective and from the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild. So it's a win-win for the whole industry.
It is. That's great. Yes. That's fantastic.
Yes. And I love the history behind your organization. Yes. And, you know, New Kids on the Block, Castle & Key. They're kind of new, but I mean, everybody's obsessed with it right now.
Everybody's obsessed with Castle & Key. I mean, they're a really nice distillery. You know, they're kind of that new wave of distilleries we're seeing pop up around the state, where it's not always about the distillery tour. I think the largest group of bourbon drinkers now are women, and a lot of times women have been accompanying the distillery just because their husbands or their male counterparts want to go. And the women didn't have anything else to do if they weren't a real bourbon drinker. Castle & Key takes it a different step, where their grounds are beautiful. You don't even have to take a tour. You can kind of just hang out on the grounds, walk through the walking garden. They have weddings there all the time. They have seats along the Kentucky River. You can just kind of hang out, Taylorton Station, grab a cocktail, grab a lunch. So it's a place where you can go to hang out, even without having to do a distillery tour.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. Again, a beautiful bottle. Christmas gift, people. This would be a perfect one under the tree.
And if I could add, the only way you're going to get this bottle is coming to the event on Saturday, November 13th. So that's the only place you're going to be able to get that bottle. So we urge you to get those tickets now. We've been selling them really, really fast. And we're obviously, with COVID, we're going to have capacity issues. But again, tickets are just $85. KentuckyBlackBourbonGuild.com is where you can find that ticket information.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us.